Hi everyone, and welcome to Monday Night Stamping. This is a place where we come together and chat, connect, and unlock some paper crafting fun. So if you are watching me tonight, kudos to you. I know that pretty much everyone around here anyway is glued to the hockey game tonight. But I thought, well, I'm just going to go for it because I get so tense I have to do something anyway. And even if you're watching the hockey game, you can always watch the replay. My name is Lillian from Stamper's Niche. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Alberta, Canada. And yes, I'm even wearing an Oilers shirt. I'm hoping they can pull it off tonight. Today's date is Monday, July 10th, 2024. So welcome whether you're watching in real live time or whether you're watching the replay. So as we go down to the desktop, remember to comment or give a thumbs up or just say hi. Let others know you're here. I know a lot of you like to connect, and that is perfect. That's what this is all about. It's a great community here. And as we go down to the desktop, you can say what you do if you're watching a sports game or any program that's a bit tense. Do you have to focus in, or do you have to do something with your hands when the going gets a little tense? So let us know that as we go down to desktop. Come on, the camera, switch around. There we go. Sometimes it just doesn't want to do that. And we'll get things set up here and then make sure the computer's working and we're all good to go. And we didn't start off with a glitch tonight, so touch wood. Hopefully that stays that way. Okay. We can come this way a little bit, I guess. It's interesting because what I see through the camera is a little different than what you see on the screen, so I'm never too sure. So do you like to have your hands busy when things are tense, or do you like to just focus right in? How do you handle the tense game situation? And while you're doing that, I just want you to remind you and that my Fold-tastic Fun class to go, it closes tonight at midnight. So if you're interested in this class, many of you have registered and I'm so thrilled. But it is closing, so here is the link, or you can use the QR code, or you can message me and I can send you the link about all the information. So there'll be 3 fun folds and then there's a bonus project as well. So that's just to keep you informed. The other thing to keep you informed is that Stampin' Up! Has a really great special on this month. So they have a special, there's 10% off of the machines. So the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machines, the regular size, the mini, the blue one, they never go on sale, and they are on sale this month for 10% off. So if you're looking for one or the other, I know I just had a customer who had the big one and she said, I want the little one too. I just think it would be so handy. So she just got that. So that's something to think of. The other thing is all of the die bundles are an extra 10% off. So that means even not just the die bundles in the catalog, but the die bundles that are on the online exclusives. So you can go to my website here, or again, you can use the QR code and you can look that up or look in your catalog, whichever way works for you. But here, if you go to my website, and now this is on my iPad, so every device is different, but look for those 3 little lines up there. If you click on them, you can see shop now, and there's also specials, so you can go in either way. So if we go in here, or you can even click on what's going across here, so you can see that too. So let's click on specials. So the other, it's just loading, it's kind of slow. So there it is right there. So let's click on that and shop the sale, and we can click on that. And again, it's still loading. It takes a bit of time. And there you can see the bundles. So some of you, like me, have been eyeing that Magnolia bundle in the online exclusives. That's on sale for an extra 10% off. So check it out. You just never know. You like my shirt, Fran? Thank you. I was just telling Harry, I think I need a bigger size. It's feeling a tad snug for some reason. But that being said, we will just carry on here. So the card tonight, I know that a lot of you are looking at Father's Day cards or cards for coaches or teachers or that kind of thing, and you want one that would be good for the guys. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I showed you this one here, this great fold. So if you missed that, if you go to my YouTube channel, it is called More Than a Z Fold. So I've showed you that, but we're going to do another one tonight. So what I did was I looked at this that was on my desk. So, and this is not necessarily a guy's card, I know, but it had lots of pockets and I really liked this fold. So I put my thinking cap on. And my first thought was, what paper could I use? Now, I don't have all the designer papers, gasp, I know, but I do have this one here. So that's the same paper I did use for this card, but I'm going to use it again tonight. I don't have the stamp set and the dies yet, but I do have these as well. So we're going to use this paper. And we'll just get started here. We're going to use half a sheet of cardstock. So what I did was I cut it in half, and then I cut the half piece in half again. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I want 2 of them. Normally we use this and we just fold it in half. This time we've cut it where we would normally put the fold. So we've got that. I love you guys saying hi to each other. That's so neat. I love it. Then I chose a piece of designer paper. So the piece I chose is kind of a plaid on this side and then the airplanes on this side. So it looks like that. I designed this so that we could use half a sheet. So I cut it at 6 inches. So what we have here is 12 inches by 6 inches. And now we're going to score it at, I forgot to write that one down, at 4 inches, the long way. So we're going to put the 6-inch side in at the top. So the 6-inch side in at the top, and we're going to line it up at the 4-inch mark, and we're going to score it. Now, I had a class the other night that was saying, sometimes my scoring tool doesn't do quite as deep as I would like. So what you can do is take your bone folder and put it in that trough and use it as well. Sometimes you can gauge how heavy you're pressing. With designer paper, you want to be a little bit careful. Now, I've got a question coming up for you. Am I going to want to do it this way? So this is going to be on the inside of the card. So do we want it this way or do we want it this way? Which way? So should we have the blue folding up or the brown? So this is with the blue folding up. So if you say blue, that's what we're going to get. And if you say brown, this is what we're going to get. So brown or blue, which one should we do? Blue facing up, blue facing up. Okay, we will go with that. So I'm going to fold it. I'm going to line up the edges like that. And really get that fold really good. Now what we're going to do is you could score this or you can just fold it. And so some of you who aren't into scoring so much, I'm going to fold it tonight. We're going to fold it in half. All right, just a second. Fold it in half this way. So remember, it doesn't matter, you can always reverse fold. But there we go. And when I am folding, my initial folds, even though I've folded before, I always unfold so it's as flat as possible. So I folded it in half. Now I'm going to take one edge and bring it to the fold. So in other words, I'm folding this section in half. Right here. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. So basically I have scored at 3, 6, and 9. Each panel is going to be 3 inches. So now I've done all that. I'm going to bring this back up like that and refold it. It just, you get a sharper fold. I know it takes a little bit of extra time, but your folds, you'll be much happier with them. So we've got it like that. So we've got, depending on how you're looking at it, if we're putting the blue at the bottom, you've got, and looking at you, you've got a giant M. So it's a zigzag like that. So these are going to be pockets. So before we go any farther, I'm going to bring in a punch. Now you can use a circle punch, you can use whatever you want, but because it's pockets, I want to take a little divot out of here. So I happen to have my hexagon punch here. So I'm going to open this up before I do any gluing. When I did my sample that I'm going to show you in a minute, I forgot to do this before I did the gluing, and so I had to do some ungluing before so I could get it back and do it. I'm just eyeballing how far down in to go, and this between the two folds is pretty close to what the punch is. So I'm getting the punch in the middle of the folds, and you might not be able to see it where you are, but I can. So we will just take care of this little bit of business here, like that, and get rid of those bits of paper. So now this is what's going to go in the middle, like that. All right. So we've got that piece done. We've got these two pieces done. So we're going to put that to the side. And before we glue everything together, we're going to do the front of the card. So we'll bring in, so this is just like a regular card front. And I've got this piece here. Now this piece came from, in this designer paper, there's a sheet with all these different pieces you can cut apart. There were also some tags here, but I've already used all of my tags. But this is the sheet that I'm using. I just cut here, and that's what I've got. So this is going to go on the front, and because we've got this is actually copper clay, what we've been calling brown, we could put copper clay behind it like that. Or we could put white behind it like that. Or we could do both. So brown, white, or both. Those are your choices. Brown, white, or both. Brown, white, or both. Both. Okay. Bonnie, your fingers are really fast tonight. I love that. Okay. I'm going to do this. Stick it to the white. Like that. Do this. Stick it to the copper clay. And this color is Night of Navy. And then there's a bit of boho blue going on here. So it's really neat that way. So I'm not going to glue this to this because I'm going to explain something in a minute. So then I took the Unbounded Love dies. What did I do with them? Oh, here they are. So these dies right here, and I took this one we're going to stamp some words, and then I use the 2 circles. I use these dies on almost every project, it seems like. So we're going to stamp on here, and then I'm just going to rest this so we get the overall effect. Then we are going to, let's see, we're going to bring in all the colors. I think that would look good. Okay, we're getting going here. So I'm going to use You're the Most Awesome, and that is from the Trusty Tools. Now we could go Dad, Happy Father's Day, we could do whatever, you could put whatever words you want, but You're the Most Awesome is going to give me choices. I could go for a birthday, for a coach, for a teacher, for whatever. So let's ink this up and stamp that. You're the Most Awesome. Give it a minute to transfer. Just like that. We've got that done. We're going to close up the ink. So my plan is that these are going to go on here. So I'm going to glue those down, but I'll put this one on dimensionals. Yeah, that'll do. This is a very forgiving card. You can sort of put it wherever you want. So this isn't glued down, and there's a reason why it's not glued down. Okay, so we're going to put dimensionals on here, not on the part that's sticking over, just on the part that's on the card. So I'm going to put my finger here so I don't accidentally put dimensionals there. And there, we've got it like that. Needs, I think, one more. It looks a little droopy there. I'm just using the edges up now. And as you likely saw, they actually tear. You can cut them, but they actually tear pretty easily when you're in a pinch. There we go. Now, the reason I'm not sticking this right down is I found when I made my other sample that when it's this thick inside, and it's going to be even a little thicker, it's kind of bouncy. So I think what I'm going to do this time is put something, a ribbon or twine, to hold it closed. So we're going to not fasten that down just yet, and we're going to bring this back in. So what we're going to do with this now, because I was using a 6x6 piece of paper and folding it up, this looks a little bit small here. So I thought I would frame it with one of these behind. It's just to add a little more definition. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to put adhesive on here and stick it to the copper clay piece. That is, these dimensions will be in Thursday's newsletter. This is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So I'm just going to center it, equal border all the way around. Give it a minute. And then I'm going to do the same on the other end, almost like making an accordion, right? So we'll put this here so that I can see maybe a little more clearly. I'll make it as awkward as I possibly can, right? I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to watch my borders, because that's going to give me the clue, because I can't see this side very well. Now I can look there. It looks pretty good. It's liquid glue, so I can give it a little smear or swish if I need to. And so now we've got it like that. Now, before we do anything more, we're going to run a little bit of adhesive along the edge of the 2 pockets, and then just right down the middle fold. I tried it without putting it in the middle fold, and things kind of slid around, and I found they stayed a little more secure if I did that as well. So I'm going to just keep it pretty narrow so I've got all the room that I can possibly get, and then on the middle fold, just a narrow little bead of glue, like that. Close it up. Now we're going to glue it to the back panel. So and again, I am just centering it. I'm not doing anything fancy schmancy, just centering it, just eyeballing it. Like that. Now I'm going to put this to the side because I want to put this on the front. Now you can see, you're already noticing, I'm sure, that we're going to have 4 pockets on the inside. So what can you do with 4 pockets? Some of you, your mind's going and you've got enough to do maybe even 8 pockets. Others are saying, I don't know what I'm going to do with 4 pockets. Well, we're going to help you out with that. So this is going to stand up just fine. I know that's always a concern for everybody. So we've got the bare bones here. We know that this is going to go on the front when we're finished the inside. But let's do a little bit more on the inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in things for the pockets. So I'm going to bring in, I think I will put a gift card here. So this person likes to read, and this person also likes coffee. So we've got a coffee card and a bookstore card. And then we need some things for the pockets. And I've got enough things here to make more than 2 things, but that's just fine. So now what we're going to do is we've got a piece of basic white and a piece of Night of Navy. We're going to put them together. And what I did was I cut out some circles from the scraps of designer paper that I had. And it helps if I can pick them up. And I'm going to just fold them in half and put them here for the tag. So let's fold that one. And because you chose, I'm going to choose the airplane because it'll show up next to the copper clay there. I cut both out so that I'd be prepared, right? For whatever you chose. So again, always reinforce those folds. So we've got those folded. We've got this. Now you could stamp on here. You can write messages on here. You could put quotes on here. And if you're stuck for quotes, you can always Google, verses for coaches, verses for teachers, to thank teachers, that kind of thing. So I kept the border narrow. I wanted the emphasis on the white, but I wanted the border just to help it show up a little bit better and be a little more sturdy. And again, you could put gift cards in all the pockets if you wanted. So I was thinking that the one that's going in this last pocket would be where you would write your message, say who it's from, that kind of thing. And we'll so I put glue on both sides of the circles so that it'll stick down on both sides, and I'm just putting it in the middle so it just looks like a little tab. This is where the tab punch or die that's part of the bundles would be perfect. I need to order that. I was really wishing I had that. So we've got it looking just like that. Now what I could do is I could stamp the word Dad there. I could put Happy Father's Day. Now, but Happy Father's Day is too long. So what can I do? Well, I could stamp it and then cut it apart. Oops, get my finger out of there. Good thing I'm wearing dark pants. There we go. So what you can do, this is always a good way of fixing that if it's not going to fit, is you can, and if you freehand cut, that's the look these days, right? So how many of you are needing masculine cards? Is this something you can see yourself making? I can see actually making several of these, masculine and feminine or whatever. So now what I could do here is I could glue this on. Just like that. Now I am going to change dad to son because this is going to be for my son, but you could do whatever. So let me just, I can do that later so you don't see me messing around with that. What if it was for a coach or for a teacher or something like that? Remember, we've got the great mini alphabet, and you could actually cut out the letters and put the letters along here. You could even put little circles in the letter in each side, inside of each of the circles, something like that. I think there's tons of potential. So how are we going to keep this card closed? Because you can see it's kind of bouncy, right? So I thought we could bring in some of the in-color twine because there's copper clay in it. Now I separate this twine quite often. That's why it's looking like a real hot mess there. But we're going to use the twine as is and run it around and give yourself enough room to easily tie a bow. There, I think that will be good. Whoops. There we go. And so for the time being, I'm actually just going to tie the bow. Hold it closed, and this will help me know where to put that front panel that we made. There we go. So now this is going to go on the front. So I want this down a little bit so it doesn't block the word awesome. So when I put this on, I am going to make sure not to put dimensionals where the twine is. I want the twine to be able to slide. So I'm going to put my finger there, bring in anything that'll make a mark, and make a little mark there. So I want to stay clear of that area. So I'm just going to put dimensionals wherever else I feel like it. Finish off these edge pieces. I love the edge pieces of dimensionals. And then start a new package. And I'm going to put some in the center, but not here. I think I could stand one more over here. There we go. That'll be good. Bring in my little garbage dish. Just like that. And again, you could put this at an angle. I designed it so that in my brain it was going straight. So we're good. We're good with that. And then we can just add some embellishments. There, you don't have to add an embellishment, but I kind of thought that these basic gray and smoky slate pearls went pretty well, and that they still looked guyish enough, right? I find that I'm using these on absolutely everything, so I'm making that excuse for whatever. So let's see. We'll put one here. We're going to mix our metals up like that, and we'll put one more up here like that. So there you have it. There is one on steroids. I'm seeing people saying they love this design. I am so glad. So again, when you open it up, the front panel is holding that cord in place, but it's not stuck to the back, so you can open it up. So it's it's a type of accordion card. I didn't even try to think of a name for it. I'm just not so sure. So if you can think of a name for it, let me know. And so there is that one. Here is the one that I made for my practice. So again, the totally different look. I just used thick basic white here. And in this case, I just took the gift certificates out of here. But again, okay, let's take those out. So it has the whole effect. I think I even chose the gift certificates because they matched the colors. But anyway, there you go. So you can see I did the same circles here. This one, because it was my first run at it, I actually put the circles on first before I put the backing on. So you can do it either way. And looks like I've got an extra pearl there. So you can see this one, I did not tie it closed, and it's fine. But it just, I think, is a little more substantial when it's tied closed. So those are those two. Let me just get rid of this pearl that's on my finger. And I'm going to show you some other cards that might inspire you for the guys in your life. They're not limited to the guys, of course, but sometimes we just have to get a jump start. Well, that pearl just wants to stay with me. So this one here, we did a few weeks ago, so there's that one. This one here is similar. I actually did an adaptation of that one, and I used that big, oh, what's the name of the stamp set? Watercolor World. It's one of the great big stamp sets. I stamped on here, and then I stamped on the designer paper. So that's the same design as this. So you'll be able to find that. More Than a Z Fold, it was called. Then I was playing around, and I figured trees are pretty safe, right? Trees, you can make a guy's card with trees. And so this is, what's it called? Forever Forest. If somebody knows the name, maybe jot it in. But here's another one, and so it goes like that. And then there's this one here. So especially if you used a darker paper on the inside, but even this could go either guys or girls. And so this is the Thoughtful Wishes paper. And there it goes like that. You can see all the little notes I make to myself. And still on the tree kick, this is the Full of Life designer paper, I believe. And then the paper just pops. This is Blueberry Bushel. So it's a little brighter than Night of Navy. So it depends what look you're going for. Then I thought, well, some guys' cards, just all you need is a little texture and metal. So I cut out different squares of the metallics that we have. It's called textured metallics, actually. And then I ran them each through an embossing folder. So very simple, just like that. But it would definitely be suitable for a guy. And then, of course, we all remember the trusty tool type of cards that we had. If it was gardening, that would be suitable for my husband, but he's not so keen on, he can do it, but he's not so keen on doing this. But he would love any of these with the trees. He would love this because he loves to read and he loves to drink coffee. So there are some ideas to get your brain going for guys' birthday cards or whatever. And if you're needing a card to show appreciation, this might be just what you're looking for, this design here. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. Let's hope those Oilers are doing well out there. Remember, if you want any supplies or have any questions, just reach out. I'll be glad to help you. And if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Or even if you're watching on Facebook, if you don't mind popping over to my YouTube channel and hitting that subscribe button and giving me a thumbs up there. I'm trying to hit 2,000 YouTube subscribers. So I've got a ways to go, but I'm getting closer, and I would love to have you be part of that process. So if you make this card, I would love you to share it Thank you so much for joining me tonight, and see you next week. Bye-bye.